All right, let's cut across to our deputy editor, Gaurav Sawant. He's in the studio with us. Gaurav, if we just look at the timeline, this was long in the coming. A complete confrontation where the legislature on one side and the judiciary on the other.
Yes, there is a constitutional crisis in Pakistan. This is a major crisis, and as you rightly pointed out, the two were at loggerheads. Clearly, in the arguments that also took place, the Prime Minister's Council was trying to tell the Supreme Court that if they keep entertaining the kind of petitions that they are in this matter, it just goes on to show that the Supreme Court, questions would be raised. Is the Supreme Court unbiased, or is the Supreme Court also biased against the Prime Minister? They're also saying that a lot of petitions of this nature are being raised. The Supreme Court should be more interested in deciding whether there is contempt of court, rather than being interested in disqualifying the Prime Minister of the country. So quite a confrontational attitude, taken by the Government Council, by the Prime Minister's Council in this case, where the Supreme Court retorted that instead of, telling the lawyer, Mr. Kadir, that instead of talking, like a lawyer and defending justice in this case, you appear to be arguing as a party member, which you should not be doing. So yes, you rightly pointed out that this confrontation was happening, and clearly now there is a constitutional crisis in Pakistan. The president, Asif Ali Zardari, will now have to decide the road ahead, and considering all of this started because of his assets in Swiss banks, it remains to be seen how the situation pans out now.
Gaurav, if you look at it, unprecedented, whereas the constitution of the country is, whoever we've been speaking to till now, say only one thing, it will be extremely difficult, keeping in mind the constitutional crisis that the country is in to restore leadership.
Indeed, and there are three principal players in Pakistan at any given point of time, now each trying to assert his authority. Will it be the Chief Justice of Pakistan? Will it be this assertive judiciary? Will it be the army, which has forever been powerful in Pakistan and which is watching the situation very closely? Or will it be Yousuf Raza Gilani or the political parties which again are trying to assert themselves? And Yousuf Raza Gilani was trying to emerge as this man who wanted to take, who wanted to strengthen democratic process in the country. And clearly here, the clash took place where the judiciary is saying we are supreme, nobody else will decide on a Supreme Court judgment, and the PPP saying that, if it's the Prime Minister of the country, it's only the National Assembly, which is Pakistan's parliament, which will decide on what needs to be done with, the Prime Minister if he's convicted if he's been, convicted here in contempt of court. So very, very clearly, now we'll have to wait and see how the next couple of days pan out in Pakistan.
The reaction that we are gauging right now, Gaurav, we've seen it over the last few years, how the constitutionally, politically, socially, the fabric of the country is breaking down. Now, this just the signs of times to come, because our reporters there on the ground are telling us that the people of Pakistan are completely pro-judiciary at this juncture.
Well, people now are trying to assert themselves, no doubt, according to reports that are coming in, but ultimately it's the army that wields authority in Pakistan, and it doesn't matter what people may want. What matters is what the army in Pakistan wants. So we'll have to wait and watch how the army reacts to this situation. Now, there is this red zone in Islamabad. The security around this red zone has been strengthened. A lot of army, a lot of security forces have been deployed here. Will the army be deployed? The 111 Brigade, which is called the Coup Brigade of Pakistan, what role will the Coup Brigade play in the next couple of days? All of that will make the situation extremely interesting. The people may come out on the streets of Pakistan, for a day or two, a week or two, but ultimately it's the army that decides what will happen in Pakistan.
Gaurav, you have travelled to Pakistan, you've gauged the situation in the country, you've gone and covered various situations in the country. Can we easily say, whereas the political situation is concerned, this has been unprecedented?
This kind of a clash, a three-way clash where the army is one of the stakeholders, the judiciary and the political setup are in this confrontational mode. And as you rightly pointed out, a section of the people strongly backing the judiciary. This kind of a confrontation, a very interesting development in Pakistan. Clearly, an effort was also made isolate the Chief Justice of Pakistan. His son is facing charges of corruption, and he himself is sitting on that case, in judgment of that case, where he also had to at one point of time, quote the Quran and say the Holy Quran and say, the father is not responsible for the son's actions, and that he would be, as the Chief Justice of Pakistan, he would decide this case only on merit. So there is intense jockeying that's going on in Pakistan at this point of time for supremacy. Who will ultimately come on top? Most indications are, as always, the army. But again, still too early to say.